Haiti is currently facing political, economic, and social unrest. Gangs have taken over 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, resulting in daily assassinations. Haitians are also facing dangers of epidemics, a lack of access to medicine, drinking water, and food. Over 1 million of Haitians are currently facing an extreme hunger crisis, while close to 4 million require food aid. The Concertation Haïtienne pour les Migrants presented a new initiative called Approche de Montréal, which was shared with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Minister of External Affairs Mélanie Joly. In this interview, I talked with Frantz Voltaire, the president of the Centre international de documentation et d'information haïtienne, caribéenne et afro-canadienne. Together, we discussed the importance of Haitian sovereignty in regards to the current state of affairs in Haiti and factors such as political regimes and interventions that have led to the current crisis. Could you please state your name and title?
Okay. Frantz Voltaire, and my title is the Director of SIDICA, with a Research and Documentation Center on Haiti and the Caribbean and Afro-Canadian.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, for those watching and who are unaware of the current climate and crisis in Haiti, could you please explain what is currently going on in Port-au-Prince, Haiti's capital?
Well, first of all, the crisis is essentially in Port-au-Prince, as you said, because in the rest of the country, it's not normalcy because the main port and the main airport are are in Port-au-Prince, and so it's very difficult in a very centralized country to have access to the documents, to have access to the banks. But in the rest of the country, there is some kind of normalcy. And so people are under the occupation, children are going to school. But in Port au Prince, where more than 30% of the population live, and all politics is based in Port au Prince, it's a chaotic situation where armed gangs are controlling more or less 80% of the city. And you have every day, every day, you have some kind of engagement between these gangs and some police force. At first, it's a very difficult situation for people who are living on day to day. People, children are not going to school. Every day there is dead people. Business are closed, and so it's a very, very difficult situation in the capital of the country.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You did just mention that it was only happening in Port-au-Prince. Is it a worry that it might expand beyond Port-au-Prince?
You have some gangs in the Artibonite region, but the gangs didn't control most of the rest of the country. The problem that you have a situation like in the southern part of the country, where if you control Carrefour and Martissan, was neighborhood in Port-au-Prince, and so you can send oil, you can send foods to the country, and also food kept going on to Port-au-Prince. And so the gangs control all the main roads to access the rest of the country, but the rest of the country has to live anymore anyway. And so I think you have some kind of agricultural food, but the main market are closed. That the peasants can send their food to their stuff to Port-au-Prince, and so it's a big problem for them. And also you have a problem of accessibility. But I can remember you, for example, you have an airport, an international airport in Cape Haitian, and this airport still in use by a Haitian company who fly from Miami to Cape Haitian. But the American company didn't fly to Cape Haitian because of the insurance problem. They don't want that they can stock in Cape Haitian, but there is some kind of normalcy in the northern part of the country.
Perfect. Thank you so much. At the Prince conference 2 weeks ago, you and other members of the Haitian organizations in Montreal mentioned that you have come up with a plan regarding how Canada could aid in the current situation. Could you explain what the plan entails?
The what we call the Montreal Initiative was some kind of plan when we said Canada uh, are not very active. They just don't have a particular plan for Haiti. They just accept what we call the American initiative to Haiti. And so we said that in any kind of solution for Haiti, the diaspora, at least the Montreal or the Canada Haitian diaspora, have to get involved to have a permanent solution for Haiti with the Haitians in the country. If you have to build institutions, you have to build them with support. The Haitians need the support of the diaspora, and Canada can play a role supporting the Haitian participation in rebuilding the country. And so we ask Canada to be some kind of honest broker. For example, to the United States, to put an embargo and a control, an arms control by vessels who left the Miami port, and most of the armament that the gang have, most ammunition, they came from Miami. And so US can intervene at this level and Canada can put some pressure, because if you don't stop the this munition and the armament coming from the US to Haiti, uh, you will have a big problem in terms of security. And also, if you have to help in humanitarian situation now, we said we can operate directly from the northern part of the country, from Cape Haitian, and not from the Dominican Republic, because you will support a Haitian solution in this sense, because and you give the preference to buy foods that Haitian peasants produce. This is this kind of situation we in this Montreal initiative we propose to the Canadian government, that not only to say, okay, we talk to Haitians here and we decide. No, that the Haitians in Canada can be part of the solution in the mid and long terms. If we want to stabilize the country, if not, you will have the same problem. It's 5 years more, 3 years more. You need some stability. You need to have regular election. And so Canada can play this particular role of honest broker, dealing with the European Union, dealing with the US, dealing with Asian countries, that we can put a plan to help stabilize the country. If not, we will continue to have illegal migration. We will continue to have starvation in Haiti. We will continue to have insecurity, and so Canada can play the role to help solve the Haitian problem. I said to help solve, but you can't solve the problem without the Haitians. The Haitian in Haiti, essentially, but also with the Haitian in the diaspora. We have a lot of resources. And I remember the people that Haitians send more money to Haiti than the Canadian aid program.
Thank you. Um, in your answer, you also mentioned that there was an issue of famine
Yeah,
in the country. Could you talk a little bit about that?
eh, the World Health Organization said that the Haitian population is more or less 11 millions, but you have 1 million people living in the limit of famine. 4 million others are in the brink of famine. And so this is a humanitarian crisis, like you have, for example, in Gaza. This is this kind of crisis. You need a solution, but this solution can be to send some resources, uh, material resources, food, but you can build that from the northern part of the country or from the southern part. You have a port at Saint Louis du Sud near Les Cayes, and you have another in Cape Haitian, a port and an airport. And so I think if we want aid be effective, you have to support some Haitian solution, but inside Haiti and not sending food from Dominican Republic.
Perfect, thank you. And regarding the plan that you just mentioned, the Montreal Initiative, I know you had said that it had been sent to Mélanie Joly and Justin Trudeau. Have you received an answer since March 18th since sending it?
I don't think so,
No?
not yet. But they have contact with. They said they are studying our proposal.
Perfect. And do you feel hopeful that Joly and Trudeau will respond to the plan and act accordingly?
I really don't know, but I'm saying that we have used a lot of methods. The problem, we have to change the paradigm. You have to change our approach to Haiti because what we are preparing, it's we continue. It's massive migration. So we have to change our approach, and you can change only this approach if you integrate in the decision making Haitian representative, Canadian Haitian representative, and we can be helpful in helping the Haiti because you have a lot of resources, human resources and material resources in Canada. Uh, we have a lot of people, that's years ago when we have the earthquake, Professor Samuel Pierre made a project, more than 700 Haitian and some friends of Haiti works on a white book to say these are proposal, not this is a, with the Haitian inside Haiti. Essentially, we don't say that we have a magic solution, but we said this is a proposal we can discuss, we can look for financing, but they decide to they decide to put this project aside, and finally, the projects they support it's give us this kind of situation of today.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We kind of just discussed it a little bit, but as you highlighted, many Haitians have voices that they, they don't want Canada or the United States to lead or influence any type of interventions in Haiti. and that instead Haitians themselves should be at the forefront of choosing the next steps. So, why would you say it's so important for Haitians to have absolute sovereignty for any type of decision making or intervention in relation to Haiti?
Because if not, it doesn't function. They decide to put Michel Martelly as a president. Michel Martelly was, as he named himself, a legal bandit. He was involved in selling drugs. All these people they put in power, they were people corrupt. They don't they have responsible for this kind of situation we are living today. And so what we said, we have to change our approach. When something doesn't function, you change it. You change your approach. You can't decide for the Haitian. It won't function. It have had any effect in the past. In 1987, we published a book. The name was Aiding as Migration. And in 1987, George DeWayne, an economist, he said, all the policy you, you decide for Haiti, it will be a, a kind of disaster. You will have 100,000 of people who will flee the country because what you have decided for the country will be responsible for migration, for violence. And so we have to change our paradigm. We have to think, listen, something doesn't function. We have to think another way to approach the problem.
Perfect. This also kind of touches on what you just said, but Canada and the U.S. have led interventions in Haiti on many occasions. So, do you find that the U.S. and Canada have had a role in Haitian politics in the past, and what lasting impact has that had on the country?
Listen, when they decide to have the minister who was there in Haiti for more than 10 years, they spent billions of dollars. They couldn't have built institution in Haiti with this money. They couldn't have built uh, a gendarmerie like to maintain order because they have built this police, and this police it's a very corrupt police in not all the units, but a lot of units are very corrupt and have links with the gangs. But they could have done a better job if they have supported the creation of Haitian institution at the in the justice system. But you can't continue to say, okay, nothing happened. We will support this kind of guys. These kind of guys they have supported, like Ariel Henry, like Michel Martelly, like Jovenel, are the responsible for the crisis. And so we need to let the Haitian choose their own leaders. We need to help the Haitian reform the institution. We need a transition where Haitian can build. Today we have, I can say, three political offers for the country. I'm not saying that's the the presidential council is the better. I don't think so. But it's in fact is in the better solution if you compare the other one with Guy Philippe. Guy Philippe was released from jail in the United States after spending 6 years in jail for drug trafficking. He pled guilty uh, in the court. Returning to Haiti, he is organizing a movement to take power. You have another choice with the gangs. And so the other choice is traditional politicians. And I think we need some transition. We need to build some minimal institution. We need 2 or 3 years for a transition to have real election where people can choose their leaders at every level.
Perfect. Thank you. And talking about the transition where the Haitian people can actually choose their leaders, as you know, Ariel Henry announced that he would be stepping down back at the beginning of March, and the CARICOM has expressed the need for the establishment of a council. Do you believe it possible that a nomination made by the CARICOM for a transitional council would be approved by the Haitian community?
Bon, in fact, as I said, there is three possible solutions, three effective. The choice of the presidential council. The other choice, it's a armed movement by Guy Philippe. The third one is to maintain the statu quo. And so I think it's not as they said, democracy is not a perfect system, but we live in an imperfect world. And so this kind of solution looks at the better solution. The other one is to maintain the statu quo. And I think the statu quo is not possible. I think Guy Philippe will be a catastrophic solution for this country. Now we have to support some units of the police force. We have to support the solution by the CARICOM. I don't think it's a great solution. I think it's very problematic. But I think we need from scratch because all these institutions are more or less controlled by the gangs. Is not only the violence, it's drug trafficking, it's kidnapping, it's rape, and so we have to figure out a transitional process where from today to maybe 2 years or 3 years, we have to rebuild institution, but we have to build it, we give people confidence that most of the people can accept, for example, an electoral council where they can say, okay, if we vote, our vote will be counted. But if you know it's a farce, you want it happens. Since with Mickey, a lot of people doesn't vote. They said, okay, name the people, you name what you want, but we need this kind of transitional process. And we need to involve Haitian from Canada, Haitian from France, Haitian from Dominican Republic, Haitian from Cuba, Haitian from the United States, to or from Latin America, to be part of this process, to give the people need to have hope, because without hope, nothing will happen. And we need to be transparent in our decision.
Thank you. And what type of transition or reform do you think Haiti needs to go through to recover from what's currently happening?
You need, first of all, to reinforce the police force, uh, maybe to build some kind of gendarmerie with a national guard. You need to rebuild because they are destroying the health system. They are destroying the school system. We need to build a school system. We need to build some kind of minimal institution, and we need to build an electoral council with people credible, with people honest, and to say, okay, the election will be an honest one, and we have to make some rules for the next people will be elected in the parliament, people would be elected at the municipal level. That's you won't have this kind of corruption. You need to fight the corruption. I don't say that everything will disappear from day one to today, but you need to begin, and you said you need that you don't have impunity, that people who have raped people who have killed people, who have kidnapped people, people who have take the money of the state, about some kind of imputability. If not, nothing will change.
Thank you. I did have a question concerning you mentioning Aristide and Martelly earlier,
Mm.
because I know that. Sorry.
No, no.
Okay. Sorry. Because I know that after Duvalier, a lot of people, a lot of Haitians were hopeful that things would start to change. And I was wondering if maybe you could discuss what didn't work necessarily, or why, despite the change from Duvalier to Aristide and Martelly, we find ourselves in such a situation.
But don't forget that in 1987, I don't say part of the United States CIA get involved with the army in 1987 on the election. And all the problem begin with that situation. Because if you had a regular election, it won't be perfect. It will be a problem. But you will have a normal course of development. After that, people elect Aristide in the election of the 1990, December 16, 1990. But what happened? What happened is that the United States with the Haitian army intervened. And so they intervened again in 2004. And so you can't decide that people didn't vote right. You know, you need that people make their own experience. Uh, and so when you intervene and you have a tremendous repression, you have people who fled the country. You give visa to a lot of people. For example, the Biden administration give 50,000 visa, but half of the universities, people working there left with the visa. You have Madame Lalim supported the union of the gangs, saying that they can negotiate with them. Last U.S. Uh, uh, and a last U.S. ambassador, Pamela Wright, she said the other day that you have to include Guy Philippe and the gangs in a political negotiation. You know, that means how you can't say the same thing, these kind of things. And so people said, okay, this is hypocrisy. This is not, you need some change in Haiti if we want to have a permanent situation. If not, the problem of migration will be accelerated.
Perfect. Thank you. Um, I did have a question regarding. I know Ariel Henry had an agreement for to have Kenya do an intervention in Haiti. Do you have
Ye-
any thoughts on that?
Yeah, but you know, how the Kenya will flow from Nairobi to Port-au-Prince. This is a crazy thing. You need certainly the Kenya, and I said if, because a lot of Kenyans disagree with this agreement they made with the Ariel Henry government. But let's suppose, okay, Kenyan will arrive, but you need to have 1,000 people in Port-au-Prince to have camps. You need to have, they need to have to eat every day. You need a logistic to do that. And so you see the complication of this kind of solution. What I'm saying and what we propose, that's the reinforcement of the police force. It won't be cheaper than to have thousands of people who don't speak the language, who don't know the country. And always Haitian remember what happened with the Latin America, with the MINUSTA, where they have as a problem the cholera. Thousands of people were affected and they never paid 1 cent to any family or any people who died or who were affected. We have rape, we have a lot of, and so people need a permanent solution. And that means national police force get reinforced assistance. The problem is not assistance. The problem is this kind of intervention doesn't solve the problem. And so we need to reinforce national institutions and not supporting an NGO state where you give humanitarian aid, but you don't solve the problem.
Thank you. Last question. Is there anything, a topic I did not discuss with you, or a question I didn't ask that you feel should be discussed?
No, I don't. I feel we have discussed a lot of problems.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Um,